How's it going, everybody? It's Dr. Chris. We're just getting ready, getting started. Get a few more people to come on into the room. Everybody get settled in. Sorry, in a few moments. Get everything all set up. A few little tips to get started, to get ready in the background. If you don't want to, if you're called using a cell phone or anything of that nature, if you don't want to be disturbed, you may want to hit the do not disturb button. If you're watching from the laptop, make sure your battery and all is plugged in. Always be sure to have your pen and pencil ready. You may hear something inspiring during the middle of the conversation. And then we may be able to answer your questions once we kind of get to a good section to take a break and answer questions. I promise you, I will not leave you hanging for any information. Many of the topics or many of the questions that you may have, we probably already will have it outlined and have you an ability for you to already get the answer to that. So I'm going to ask just for time's sake, if you have a pressing question, go ahead and raise your hand. Otherwise, I encourage you to write your questions down, and towards the end, we'll get a chance to answer those questions. So right now, we're about to get started. And what I'll do is I will kind of just set up the format for today is that the time here will probably go fast. It'll probably be about 45 minutes for our presentation. And we'll leave about 15 or 20 minutes towards the end to answer questions. That should take us right to the full hour. But if you still have questions that need to flow over, I'm not going anywhere. Be more than happy to answer questions. But it's hard to kind of get all your information all in one spot or at one time. So I encourage you to come back to continue to get more and more information, more and more education on this topic, and many more to come. So today we are here. This is part of our educational series on everything Ozempic, everything weight loss, everything semaglutide, everything tirzepatide, everything GLP-1. And this is a great time. Right now, we are recording this in May of 2024. And so now is an amazing time that if you've been looking forward to getting started with your cosmetic or your weight goals, now is a perfect time. There's no bad time to get started. But now is a perfect time to go ahead and go ahead and get started with your weight loss journey. And you can easily do that by go ahead and reaching out to us here at goal.md. Goal.md is your one-stop place for all things weight loss, including products such as semaglutide injectables, semaglutide oral dissolving tablets, or the tirzepatide injectables. Now, for those that say, Doc, I don't know those words, I can't even pronounce them, semaglutide is the active ingredient that is in the brand name Ozempic that many people are already familiar with. And tirzepatide is the brand name that is in the product Mounjaro. So these are two great medications in the family of our GLP-1s, our weekly long-lasting GLP-1 family. And we'll go into more detail about that as we kind of get started. So again, just trying to get everybody oriented and comfortable and into the flow of things. Make sure your pen, pencil, everything is together. And so let's go ahead and hop into it. Your beach body is right around the corner. Your beach body is right around the corner. Today is May. And did you know that many people are able to lose up to 10 to 20 pounds within the next 6 to 8 weeks? You heard me, 20 pounds within the next 6 to 8 weeks. How is this possible, Dr. Fitch? Well, everybody has heard of it in one sense or another, Ozempic. Or for what we're going to talk about, semaglutide. You've heard so many people, maybe you have some friends, maybe you have family members, maybe you've even seen the celebrities on television who are all sporting a different dress or a different look because they've lost so much weight. And is all that exercise? Is all that fitness? Nope. There's a lot of help there with semaglutide or tirzepatide, whichever one is your favorite. And we can kind of go into talking about the differences between the two, but just trust me here when I tell you these medications are amazing when it comes to help you with weight loss and achieving your goals. So let's kind of hop into it. Insulin. Let's just start there. Okay. So your body is made up of a lot of different parts and pieces. You got the nervous system. And the nervous system is composed of your brain and your nerves. You got the circulatory system. It's composed of your heart and your blood vessels, the muscle system, the skeletal system, the lymphatic system, just to name a few, right? These are our main ones. But within these systems, we have to have, number one, we have to have something that kind of keeps the cells alive, and we call that oxygen. And we need something that helps keep those cells healthy. We call that our white blood cells. But direction, a natural signal to start and stop. What is driven? What drives that? Yes, your brain can tell you that you want to do an action, but the brain itself does not cause the action. The brain instead triggers certain hormones to be released into the blood system for that action to be started. So if you want to grow a little taller and your brain says, yes, it's time for us to grow, your brain will tend to have your body to release growth hormone. If you want to go through puberty as a young man or as a young woman, your brain will tell your body to start to release an excessive amount of sex hormones. So obviously, guys, testosterone during that time period, and for our ladies, estrogen and progesterone in order to have a menstrual cycle or in order to be able to get pregnant. So hormones actually run the body. Hormones actually facilitate going and stopping in our body. So one hormone that a lot of people are very familiar with is the hormone insulin. Insulin is a hormone that many people you probably didn't even know it was a hormone. You probably thought it was a medication. But it is truly a hormone. Your body makes insulin in order to help tell your body where to put sugar away at. Insulin also helps you to kind of increase your cravings. It kind of regulates your hunger center. And it also helps to teach your stomach to accommodate. So it helps with relaxation of the stomach muscles in order to accommodate more food on board. And so insulin's main job is to kind of help facilitate bringing in more supply of food. And then when you bring that supply of food in, then insulin's job is to then help take that food, which has now been turned into sugar, which is the driving gas for your body, and it takes that sugar and it puts it where it is needed, either away for life or away for storage. So this is a concept that is very difficult for a lot of people to understand. So if we just have to kind of put this into the most simple terms, think about going to the gas station and filling up your gas tank. Now, my car, I have a modest sedan. And as such, my car has a 16-gallon tank. Now, you may have a 20, you may even have a smaller gas tank, like a 12, or you may have a hybrid, all right? You may have an electric vehicle. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm just talking to us that are still living off of petroleum, off of gasoline. So if I go to the gas station today and I pump gas into my car, I can pump as much gas as that car can hold. Once I have, let's say I'm going from all the way at empty. So once I've reached that 16 gallons for my car, there's a lot of back force on the hose to put more gas in the car. And so therefore, I usually get a stop from the signal of the garden hose that I can't pump any more in. But because I'm stubborn, I want to pump another 4 gallons into my body. Well, the garden hose, the hose, the gas line hose, doesn't really care about that, does it? Its job is to just deliver sugar. Its job is just to deliver gas, just like the mouth's job is to just deliver sugar. It is not judging whether there's been enough gas placed or not. It just does one job. I provide supply. However, it is on you to have a place to put that supply. So if you cannot put it into the car, then the most reasonable and appropriate thing for you to do is to go get like a storage tank and put the gas or that extra 4 gallons into that storage tank. And you can store that, you can put it in your car, you can save it for later, so on and so forth. Now, that in our bodies is a very easy transition. So when we eat, our bodies, the food that we eat eventually turns into sugar. For each unit of sugar, a unit of insulin has to lock onto that in order to help facilitate where that sugar should go. So it's either going to go into the cells for life, or it's going to go and be stored as fats. Okay, so it's only going to be going stored as fat after all of the fuel tank has been capped off. Okay, now with that being said, there is a problem here because we all want to try to lose weight. Matter of fact, even when it comes to your diabetics, many people will tell a diabetic, many doctors, including myself, will tell a diabetic, you probably can reverse this disease of diabetes by reducing how much sugar that you're putting in your body. We make the assumption as doctors, not type 1 diabetics, but we're talking about our type 2 diabetics, that through your lifestyle, through your life, you have for one reason or another, you have created a high blood sugar level in your body. And so therefore, you have a high amount of insulin. You know how I know? Because you're overweight. And so the only direct way that anybody can become overweight is to have a higher than normal insulin amount. We are able to actually measure your circulating insulin. You can actually go to the doctor and ask for a test and see, do you fall in the average range for most Americans in your region about what your insulin levels are. And so what you'll typically find for people who are overweight is they have a higher than normal insulin level. But that insulin only went up because there was an additional or an excessive amount of circulating blood sugar found in the bloodstream. Now, the pancreas is not a smart organ in the sense that it doesn't give a new amount or a specific amount to the specific amount of sugar that you just digested. Instead, for efficiency's sake, your pancreas secretes an average amount of insulin towards the average amount of blood sugar that you have taken in, usually over the course of the last 3 to 5 days. That's why we tell people you lose weight by the week, not by the day. The way to lose weight is to do what? It's to bring down your insulin level. Now, I know all of you guys are going to tell me that's not what I was taught all my life. The way that I was taught how to lose weight is to lower your calories. And yes, that is to some degree true, but that is not the final outcome that you're looking for. Through reducing your calories, through reducing your carbohydrates, we're hoping to bring down the average circulating blood sugar and therefore bring down the average amount of floating insulin that's in the body. So with that being said, as people don't change their diet and have an excessive amount of floating sugar in their body, the insulin level goes up, stores it away as fat, and now you're not satisfied with the outcome. And even worse, when it comes to our patients who are diabetics and have elevated blood sugars, we tell them the best thing for you to do is to watch your diet and reduce your blood supply. But in the meantime, here's some insulin. I have to give you insulin in order to get your blood sugar down. And yes, it's very true that we need to do that in order to reduce the risk of other diseases such as heart disease, which is a major complication of diabetes, kidney disease, and dementia, which are all very, very, very closely linked with having diabetes. Matter of fact, a lot of these have been shown that diabetes is the major precursor towards heart disease, kidney disease, and dementia for many, many, many patients. So it seems a little counterintuitive. I want to lose weight, but my doctor's sticking me on insulin. And as a doctor, I have to say this. There's a moment of crisis that I have to treat. And when many patients come in and see me, their blood sugars are in the 200s, the 300s, the 400s. Their hemoglobin A1Cs, which should be 6% or lower, are many times in the double digits, 11, 12, which equates to a hemoglobin A1C of 11 or 12 equates that to having an average blood sugar of 300 to 350 points on average throughout the entire 24-hour period. That's a lot of sugar. So I have to get you out of the crisis of having this elevated blood sugar before you kill a kidney, before you hurt your heart, before you cause the cognitive disorders. And so what I often have to do is place a patient on insulin. But that's not the end of treatment. The rest of the treatment then has to go back to reducing what caused me to have a hyper blood sugar amount to begin with. What caused me to have this excessive amount of insulin that I basically have burned out, because your body will continue to accommodate giving you more and more insulin until the pancreas is kaput, and it can't continue to make as much insulin. And as it starts to fail, then that's when you start seeing higher and higher blood sugar numbers. So that's the moment that I then have to step in and give you some insulin in order to bring that blood sugar level down. But a deeper question. You are making insulin, and you have always made insulin. You're just not eating to the amount of insulin that your body can make. You are eating more than. Again, if we go back to the same scenario with the car, you're not pumping 16 gallons into this car. You're over pumping what the car can hold. Many people would tell you, I have a $100 bill in my pocket, and I wish I could just pump all $100 in, versus I'm probably going to have to come back. I'm probably going to only be able to pump $40 in. I'm probably going to come right back next week. Why not just pump all $100 right now? One simple rule. Your gas tank cannot handle all $100 worth of gasoline or 32 gallons at one time. It can only handle 16 gallons. What should you do? You should fill it up with 16 gallons, go and drive that gas off, and then come back and refuel. Now, that's just the simplest and easiest way versus trying to overeat at one particular meal. And that's difficult for many people. Many people have been trained and educated to eat all the food that's on your plate, eat past the point of feeling full, and consider eating double servings or triple servings because we have been told in the past that if we fill up with one good meal, many times this is enough food to carry us over into the next day for several hours. But it's not true. Instead, the amount of food that you eat at that one meal, as high as the blood sugar, as high up as it may make your blood sugar, all of that sugar is gone and no longer available for life after 4 hours. And so you're going to have to refuel anyway because you have no available blood sugar anyway in your blood system. And you don't want to put your body into another state of crisis. So what should you do? You should have appropriate meals every 4 to 5 hours. Yes, we're back to that conversation. Having small, appropriate meals every 4 to 5 hours is an amazing thing to do in order to keep your blood sugar and your insulin levels regulated.